For more on Taiwan's historic election, we're now joined by Harry Seng. He works out of Taipei's Economic and Cultural Office in Ottawa. The title he uses is Ambassador to Canada, and he joins us now from our nation's capital. Welcome to the program, Harry.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you, what reaction are you seeing to the news of the new president, both in Taiwan and internationally?
Well, the response from domestically in Taiwan, of course, this is the election went very well. It was a great success. There was no controversy, and the result was well accepted by our people. As a matter of fact, on the election eve, it was exciting and hilarious. But then the next day, the streets returned to normal and quiet. All the campaign slogans and the posters were removed. It was very efficiently done, and I think it is a healthy and democracy, what a healthy and mature democracy is supposed to be.
I want to talk to you about the challenges leadership-wise here, outside of the obvious, which is the relationship with China. But what is ahead for Lai Ching-te as a newly elected president, given the amount, the number of votes that he has won by, and the fact that there are others who are still present?
Well, you are right. Mr. Lai gained 40% of the total votes, so he won the presidency, but he does not gain the majority. But he has said very clearly in the campaign trail that after taking office, he will not provoke China. As a matter of fact, he has extended an olive branch to China to resume the dialogue based upon the parity and dignity. I think we will urge China to respect the result of the election because it reflects the free will of the Taiwanese people.
Now, Lai has said he would maintain the status quo, as you're saying, in relations with China, but that he was determined, and I quote this, determined to safeguard Taiwan from threats and intimidation from China. How do you imagine in the long term that this relationship is going to go under his leadership?
Well, I would urge China to look at to look at the issue from the bigger picture. After all, the Chinese can also claim that it didn't lose because you see all the three parties can claim some victory from this election. The Democratic Progressive Party won the presidency. The KMT, the Kuomintang, became the largest party in the legislature, and the Taiwan People's Party won a status of a critical minority with their 8 seats in the legislature, able enough to play a balance of power and also to swing a result of election. So there are people who China would like to claim that they are China friendly. So in order to curry favor of these people in Taiwan, I think China should try to do anything possible to win the hearts and minds of the Taiwanese people. If China is too heavy-handed in their approach to Taiwan, it's only going to drive the Taiwanese people further away from China.
Well, and now, of course, Lai Ching-te is going to have to work well with those other two parties, to those leaders who will now be in government with him. But let me ask you about the international reaction. You touched on this off the top, but we have seen some congratulations coming from countries around the world to Lai Ching-te for this win. What is Taiwan looking from their global allies, and how is that congratulations being viewed by China?
Well, I hope the world would understand the importance of this election in Taiwan, that the fact that Taiwan can hold an open and fair election under the great pressure from the Chinese election interference which should not be taken lightly, because we are in a world where the democracies are under pressure. And the fact that Taiwan can showcase how it is possible to fight against interference, the hostile Malayan foreign intervention, it should be inspirational and inspiring to the democracies. So this is something very important, and and this is something we hope our like-minded allies in the international community can recognize.
Harry Tseng, a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time. Harry Tseng joining us from Taipei's Economic and Cultural Office in Ottawa.
Thank you.